Thank you so much, Brent. Yes, so I am Renata Mason, Public Information Officer with the Small Business Administration. When y'all kept saying NSBA, I'm like, does that mean not SBA? No, but no, no. But yes, we are SBA. So we Christian and I, we travel as he mentioned. We're covering the state of Missouri. Missouri currently, we're covering 5 declarations that are throughout Missouri, going as far as Lincoln County and all the way down to I don't even know. We've been kind of all over. So, but today I wanted to give information, important information on what we've been doing, what resources are available to those that have been impacted, because you all have been recently impacted by not one but 2 declarations. And so we felt the need to come, and we love and thank you all for the opportunity to be here and speak on what we have available. So Christian is going to assist. He says he's my security, but he's not my security.
So,
Yes.
before we go any further, can everyone hear me? Okay, cool. All right.
Yes. All right. So, and as Brent mentioned, yes, we do travel. We're not from here. I'm a Louisiana native, and
I am Illinois.
yes. And so, just going to start it. So, the Small Business Administration, what we do is during times of disasters, after disasters hit, we offer low interest rate loans to assist in the recovery process. That low interest rate loan does not limit to homeowners, does not limit itself to businesses and nonprofits. We have the word business in our name. However, we provide assistance to renters and homeowners as well. I know we've had a lot of businesses introduce themselves here, but if you were impacted as a business, a nonprofit, a homeowner, or a renter, this is great information that we want to share with you all. We do provide assistance for anything that is uninsured or underinsured.
Oh, yeah. So just by the numbers, generally, after a disaster, 25% of businesses do not reopen. I know specifically in this state, there are about 550,000 small businesses, and they employ 99.4% of the people in the state. So essentially, this is a small business state. So whenever there's a disaster, think about 25% of your businesses disappearing and all the people that individually affects. And so that's what we're here to kind of provide some information about ways to kind of go around that.
So we are the largest source of funds post-disaster for privately damaged properties. And as I mentioned, currently we have, well, the 5th one's not on here because it just got declared on yesterday. But we currently have 5 declarations throughout the state of Missouri. The 2 that are highlighted is where Greene County falls in. And so just to show a breakdown of the counties that are eligible for assistance, but also the interest rates in those deadlines. For the assistance. And so, of course, we had the declaration that happened in April, and then also the one that just recently happened on June 29th. For home loans, if you're a homeowner or a renter, there's an interest rate starting at 2.81%. For nonprofits, it's an interest rate of 3.625%. And if you are a business, that's an interest rate of 4%. The deadline for the April 29th, it does have August 22nd on there, but we have grace periods. We offer 60-day grace periods after these deadlines that are listed here on the application. So there's 2 deadlines, and I'll break down that explanation. So for the first deadline, at August 22nd that we show here, that's for any physical damages. Right. So if you're a business, a homeowner, or a nonprofit that's seeking replacement of whether it's inventory, machinery, your home rebuild or replacement, that's the deadline for the physical damages. But the one below that March 23rd March 23rd, 2026, and then April 28th, this is what we call economic injury disaster assistance. So if you're a business or a nonprofit that's not have any physical damage, but you've seen a drop in your customer base, there's a loss in your revenue, then you can also apply for assistance, and that deadline extends out to next year. Reason being is because as a business, you may not foresee that loss. It may not be an immediate change, but over time, because of those that are impacted in your community, they may not be able to continue to, purchase or buy from your business.
So yeah, these are just kind of the types of loans that we offer. We have home loans, we have business loans, which is what we talked about just a second ago, the physical damages, and then we have the EIDL, which is the economic injury. And there are different things you can use with it. You can repair or replace your primary residence. You can repair your personal property, and this is more homeowners and renters. This is more homeowners. This is for businesses where you repair or replace real estate inventory or equipment, or if for just the economic injury, it's more borrowing for working capital. So with working capital, we can't necessarily substantiate what your sales are, but we can look at your hard costs. What is your rent? What is your lights? What is your gas, water? If we can look at that, we generally make a loan that's based around really about a 2-year model. So when we look at your documentation, we're going to pull your P&Ls and we're going to look at your last 3 years of your federal tax returns, and we kind of figure out where you need to be in that. The idea is if we can keep your business open and we can replace your inventory, you should be able to get your customer base back in there. And then, I'm sorry, these are amounts. So for a home loan, you can get up to $500,000 for the damage. On your personal property, you can still get an additional $100,000. For renters, it's just $100,000 for personal property. And then for businesses or nonprofits, it's up to $2 million. There we go. You got it? Okay, so yeah, the loan terms, it can go as high as 30 years. There's 12 months no interest, 12 months no payments. The first $50,000 of any loan does not require any collateral. And then when it's agency declarations, up to $14,000, because there's the difference between a presidential loan, a presidential declaration, and an agency declaration. The agency declarations are specifically ones that are just SBA. The presidential are ones that bring in multiple federal agencies. There is no cost to apply, there's no obligation to accept the loan, and there's no pre-penalty payment. You can use the loans specifically on the homeowner side for several things. You can replace your property, you can relocate. You could say, you know what, there was heavy damage, I got tired of waiting for a contractor, me and my brother got up on the roof and we fixed the shingles ourselves. You can still come to SBA to get an SBA disaster loan for your personal credit card because it was revolving around a disaster. You could say, you know what, I didn't have as much damage as I thought I was gonna have. I like to get a loan just for mitigation, because you say every time it rains, it gets really close. I wanna build a retention wall. You can do that. So there's a lot of ways you can use these loans. So this is just, some of the stuff that you can repair, replace. It's a multitude of things. Yeah.
That's just, in addition, that was on the homeowners renter side. So for business and nonprofits, as we mentioned, it's kind of the same as far as like machinery, equipment, inventory that needs replacement. As Christian mentioned, if you've already purchased something and you want to use the funding, you can do that as well, because of course, credit card interest rates are high. Our interest rate is 4%. We have the 1-year deferral before you have to start making those payments. So it gives you an opportunity to rebuild and recover without being stressed about having to make those immediate payments. As mentioned, no prepayment penalties also. And if you get a loan amount if it's higher than what you're wanting, you don't have to take that full amount. You can go with a lesser amount. You can later on decide you want to get an increase. You have up to 2 years to request an increase on that loan once you've signed your authorization agreement.
An honorable mention, there was one other thing I want to say. With those loans, you can also come to SBA specifically to get a loan just for your insurance deductible. If you don't want anything else, say, I know I have a $20,000 deductible. You can come just for that. Yeah.
And as far as the economic injury side, those are just a few things that the funding can be used for as well, because again, it's not related to physical, but you need to continue your operating expenses.
Mitigation. So these are just common things we try to mitigate, whether it's dealing with a flood, a wildfire, a tornado, earthquake. It could be something as simple as installing the window film or bracing your doors, Class A rated roof. There are multiple things that we can do to try to make sure that our homes are as strong as possible. So in the case that you have to deal with any kind of disaster, you're already prepared ahead of time.
And for the mitigation, it does not have to pertain to this particular disaster.
Yeah.
We've been in the St. Louis area for tornadoes. We've been down for flooding. We've been across Missouri for several different declarations. But when people are thinking of rebuilding and going through that mitigation process, and when you're thinking, like you mentioned, okay, I may have been impacted by a flood, but there's been more tornadoes. So you can consider what things you can add to your home or your building or your business building that can help build and be back stronger.
Yeah.
So this is just an overview of the application, because people get in there and they're kind of like, oh, how do you apply? All right, so applying, there's several ways to apply. You can apply on our website, thelending.sba.gov. We actually also have customer service representatives here in Springfield. They are located at the Springfield Greene County Emergency Management Building. And so we have representatives there Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They're there to answer questions. If you've already applied and you need assistance on what's the status of my application, what's going on, what additional information that I need, they are there available. So they can assist on that. You can schedule appointments. It's not required, but if you're a person who knows you have a busy schedule and you just want to set aside some time, you can also visit and set an appointment so we know to be expecting you to come in. You can always call our customer service line for any additional questions or assistance listed there. And our application process just goes through, it kind of gives you a breakdown on once you submit an application, what we're looking for, going through that process. And then it gives you down to the end as far as disbursements go.
Why should you apply for SBA loan? All right, now I'm gonna talk it up really good now. We got low interest rates. No, but we do have low interest rates. You generally don't find these kind of interest rates anywhere. There's no cost to apply. The loan terms are 15 to 30 years. There's no no prepayment penalty, and then funds can be available prior to an insurance settlement. That's a huge thing because a lot of times people are going back and forth and they don't know where they stand with their insurance companies. We never allow a duplication of benefits, but if you are approved with an SBA loan, a lot of times what happens is SBA will get added as a lien holder so that when your insurance payment comes out, they get it on the back end, but you can still get fully funded for what you need on the front end. 12 months, no interest, no payments. The interest rates do not fluctuate. Mitigation funding is available, and there is no obligation to take the loan if approved. Now, here's a thing to know. Once an application is completed in our system, whether you're approved or denied, it stays in our system for 6 months. So you can say, I don't need these funds, I'm not going to worry about it, and come back 4 months from now. I always tell people, go ahead and apply, because it's better to have access if you need it than to let the deadlines go and then you find out later that you don't need it. A lot of people say, hey, I know I can, as they say, get it by myself. I have the money, I have the wherewithal, and sometimes you don't know the actual, the soft costs that happen when there's a disaster. We always know the hard costs, but over time, things change. So it's just better to have an application. Again, there's no obligation to take the money, but it's better to have that money there and earmarked in case you need it.
I think
There's our information.
that's our information, but my slides got out of order some kind.
Oh, cool.
So, you know.
So there's that. Yeah. So, I mean, this is our information. Of course, we have cards and stuff so we can make sure everyone gets cards and stuff. But yeah, these are our information. Please keep going.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So this is what she alluded to earlier, that we have CSRs and that this is the address they're currently at. Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. They can help you through any process that you have. You can go see somebody in person. You can go online. You can call the customer service number. In case you are not tech savvy, they can literally do your application over the phone. So there's no way that there's not access.
Yes. And we also have, that's the end of my slide. I just got
Oh,
back with y'all. Right?
yeah.
So sorry about that. But I also wanted to provide information because I know that, again, that some of you are business owners. I'm sure you're homeowners or renters. Even if you've not been directly impacted and you know someone that has been, we encourage you to push the word out because, as Brent said, Christian and I, I'm passionate about rebuilding. We've been doing this for quite a while, and that's just something that's very close to me, is being able to watch a community come back, bounce back, be resilient. And I just love the fact that SBA can be a part of that. We do have a disaster workshop.
We do.
That we are doing this evening, and another one on Saturday. I actually want to talk to you, Brent. I'm sorry I didn't mean to put you out there, but I want to talk to you on the side afterwards. Because one of the other things that we love doing is because we understand that not everyone necessarily wants a loan. Sometimes it's not about what you want. It's oftentimes what you need. But even there are people who may not fit the qualifications for those. So one of the other things that we try and do is we try to partner up with other organizations that have other resources so that that's information that we can share as well. But outside of just financial resources, some of the other things that we like to partner in that are important is things that people forget about, like the mental state of people who have first time been impacted by disasters. We were having that conversation with Brent earlier, just how that can be a shock to some individuals who've never had that happen to them. So the workshop that we're doing, we're going to also have other organizations there that's going to help in with other needs. Because one of the qualifications that we do have is credit worthiness. It doesn't have to be perfect, but obviously we have to assess what those risks are. And so we do have an organization that we work with. It's one of our resource partners, the Women Business Center New Growth, who can help with credit repair. It's a free service that they offer. So there's other organizations that we work with to help to help overcome what may be a reason for denial.
Yeah. Yeah. That was great.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
so we'll be there this evening, 5 to 7. Christian will be there this evening from 5 to 7. And then we will also be there again on Saturday from 1 to 3. We wanted to have a schedule where if you're working during the week, you could still come in the evening or you can come on a weekend. So he will be there this evening and on Saturday from 1 to 3 at the 330 West Scott. I know y'all know where that is because it's
Actually, right here on this line.
Oh, yeah, that's right there. I'm sorry.
Yes.
See, that's why we work so well together. So we'll be there 5 to 7 this evening and also on Saturday 1 to 3 p.m. doing a disaster workshop that will not only have the SBA, but we'll have other organizations there as well to discuss what other needs that you all may have or anyone that you know. So please get the word out on that as well.
Oh.
Do you have any questions for us?
That's always the best part.
Yes, I love questions.
What's collateral, if any, is required?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking it. The preference on collateral is generally property. That's generally, but I've seen it go different ways. It really just depends on kind of what people's personal portfolio looks like. But there's absolutely. Maybe. Yeah. Some do, but again, remember, you don't need collateral if it's less than 50,000. So, if it's over, then those are next stages. But again, when you're approved, you don't necessarily come into the process looking for a specific amount. We gather information and tell you based upon all these things, this is what you could take. And at that point, you either say, okay, I want this amount or I don't want this amount. But at that point, if you think it would be something that you may not have the collateral, then we just say, well, let's scale it down so you don't need that portion. And in a bond, you need what you need. But if I need 60,000, but I know I don't have collateral and I can get 50, I'm going to take the 50. I'm going to take the 50. Yes, ma'am. Sure. We are. This is federal funds. We get our funds directly from Treasury. There's no third party. Yeah. No such thing. Yes, ma'am.
That sounds abstract. So when the governor said declaration of emergency, is that his agent? So what's the difference between governor and then agency declaration?
It's actually the same. It's a governor agency declaration. So there's a presidential.
Agency declaration.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the two we have in Boone County, they were presidential, they were agency. So that means the governor is like,
Yes. So you have. Oh, I'm sorry. You go back. So actually, y'all were hit with 3. Oh, what happened to my thing?
I don't know.
Okay, so Greene County was hit with 3, right? You had the March 14th and 15th, which was actually a presidential declaration. And then we had the April 29th, which was the agency declaration. And then we had the June 29th, which was also another agency declaration. So,
Yeah. So, no. Most of the time, we use the word agency because it really refers to the fact that SBA is the primary agency. When it's a presidential, that means that on a federal level, multiple agencies are deployed. But when it's an agency, SBA is the agency. It's just us working in conjunction with your local government on the state side. Yeah. Oh, one thing I want to always mention. For any of these disasters to be declared, the only way that works is this paperwork is filled out from your local emergency management, but they can only fill out paperwork if people tell them that they have damage. There's a certain amount of damage that's needed to get a declaration. So if you're the victim, the survivor of any type of declaration, any type of disaster, even if you get what you had messed up fixed, still report that you had damage, because you would hate for your community not to be able to get a declaration because you were one person shy of meeting the threshold. So it's always good. Just tell them, hey, I had damage. That tree fell on my lawn. Even if you got to fix, the tree fell on my lawn. They need to know because there's a threshold for these things. So yeah, it should be your emergency management. Anytime anything's happened, you should be able to contact them. There should be something on their website, a phone number or something where you can call and just let them know this is what's going on. And they need that information. That's what helps push the paperwork. Any other questions? Oh, God.
You know, the residential side of things,
Mm-hmm.
talk about harboring with roofs. I'm wondering, will you partner with, like, in our area, it's a register, greater strength of the workers,
Mm-hmm.
giving me send them information, like, for instance, needs, seminars that you're doing with might be, you know, a beneficial, or might be a way to outsource hours to announce it
Mm-hmm.
by point critical area.
Right. Yeah. You know what? That's a great point, and it sounds like you are the person with the information. So I'll make sure we connect later. Yeah, I'll make sure we connect. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I believe in you. You can do this. There were two other questions. There was one right here. You had a question?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
I'm curious from the time someone submits an application until they can get funds about how long.
Okay, so that completely varies based upon your responsiveness. So when you put your information in the system, there's a checklist on the back end. Every time that they check something off, if they don't need anything, you go to the next part of the process. If they do, you're sent an email. The email also corresponds to a text message that tells you check your email, and in your portal it says we need this thing from you. I've seen people that are super responsive and came in, did an application, were fully funded in 8 days, money was in their account. And I've seen people come in and it was 3.5 months later because they just don't respond. The other thing to know is when you put in an application, if you let 7 days go after you got your initial email that said we're working on your application and they've requested something, if you don't respond within 7 days, they will withdraw your application. But again, remember what I said, if you have an application in the system that's completed, it's still in there for 6 months. So even if it gets pulled out of the system, you can say, hey, I dropped the ball, I was on vacation, I forgot about it. Is that money still available? And they can reinitiate your same application. There was one other question I want to say on this side. Yes. Yes. For the current declarations, it's 2.813 for homeowners, 3.625 for nonprofits, and then a 4 for businesses. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I'm in a administrator that's sitting there and you don't use it, let's say, can you apply for that again and again and again?
You can, but as long as it's not the same declaration, because if you could, so let me say it like this, as long as it's not the same declaration, you could apply for every single declaration and be approved, but you can't apply multiple times for the same declaration, because then they'll be like, why you keep sending applications in? Like, you did this Tuesday. Like, yeah. Any other questions? Anybody want to guess the lotto numbers? Nothing? No? Okay, well, we thank you so much for your time. We understand time is at a premium these days, and we appreciate you sharing yours with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Sick. Isn't he better than security?
Oh, my God. Stop it.
Thank you.